pictures, you know, family pictures. I'm Teresa.
Hi Niels, are you having a good holiday? Niels, I think we have a bit of a problem with your outfit at the moment. Can we just come here?
Kate Bailey Fulton, welcome. Everyone in the States. And the weather is better than Dublin.
This is my sister.
If we could all just call you to attention, I'm wondering if Marianne, if music could be turned on as well.
She's just doing it there now.
Okay, no problem. You're all very welcome to our gathering of First Cousins here today. As well as First Cousins, we have a group of outlaws, and we'd say, as well as the outlaws, in American terms, it's the cool side, right? Now, you know, the Yanks always say everything is cool, but the cool side really are the ones that are, you know, just the leftovers kind of thing, right? But we'll say realistically, whether you're O'Driscoll or whether you're married to O'Driscoll, you're extremely welcome to our gathering here today. I suppose one of the genesis of this came, the Aussies were going on a world tour and decided to include Ireland as part of it. They have been literally on the go. Mary and Anne, how long are you on the go?
Mary now on the go 4.5 months and Anne's on the go for I'll just start off anyway.
Right, on the go for 4.5 months, right? So if you think the Irish public system, public service can literally fly the system, the Australians we're only trotting out kind of thing. Because they're actually they can take paid leave after so many years service. By heavens, you know, I think we'd love if we could do that in Ireland. But we'll say this grouping would have all had its origination from our grandfather, Joram, and his wife, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, we'd say, from Horahan would have been her maiden name. She was literally from across the fields from the sand. They got married in 1914. They raised a family of 10. And we're particularly delighted that two surviving members are still with us, together with a wife of one of the sons. So a special Kate Bailey Fulton, which means 100,000 welcomes to Eileen, right? And also to Peggy. Peggy with wife. So you see, the partisan gangs are shouting for their own group. English, I think at this stage now, it's Ireland 1, England 0, right? We lost on that scoring, right?
Just no reserves.
Exactly. Just going through the groups that were there. They married, they had a family of 10. The eldest was Pat. Pat, I just scribbled a few notes there as we were waiting earlier. Pat lived in Monkstown and was a cricket manager, had 4 boys, Dermot, Con, Pat and Finbar. Dermot lived most of his life in America and is deceased with a couple of years. Con, Pat and Finbar send their best wishes, aren't able to be here with us tonight. Next oldest was Con. Con worked in the Department of Agriculture. I got married in 1980, and I think about 2 months before before Teresa and I got married, unfortunately Con passed away. But we'd say Con's wife Peggy is here with us today, and we're thrilled to have you, Peggy. And we'd say also from Con's family, the eldest daughter was Mary Goretti. There were so many Marys that there had to be distinguishing terms. So Mary Goretti is in Dublin, unable to be with us. But who we do have would be Dermot and his wife Marina. And actually, maybe, do you know what? As we're just introducing people, so that people know, you might just give a little high kind of thing. Dermot, Marina, the standard is set out. It's like, so there'll be competition as to who will take the best bow. And then we have Dennis. No, Dennis. And we have Neil. Right. Okay, they want order of age, but we said we mix it up. We mix it up, Liz, and we could pretend that you're the youngest. Okay? So, Liz. Liz is here with her daughter. And we'd say we have Barry. And Barry's wife. Okay, so as well as Neil, we have Neil's wife Roz. We're delighted that Roz can meet us, and also our two family members. Lads, you might be so good enough to introduce yourselves. Okay, Beth and Jenny. You're particularly welcome, lads, to our get together here tonight. Then from England, we have Eileen. Eileen's husband was Mick, and we'll say we're at 95 years of age. I think one of the highlights of this gathering over the last couple of days, before tonight, was the trip to the sand today. We'll say, Eileen, you literally have to be there to witness what happened. We'll say, Eileen met the current owner, who's Dan, who inherited the farm from his father, Dan. But we'll say McCarthy is such a common name down in West Cork that literally you had to have distinguishing names, and in many cases it was nicknames, and some of them weren't very savoury. But we'll say Eileen suitably admonished Dan for the poor disrepair in which the old homestead was kept, right? And we'd say that it was a very bad trial. Now bear in mind, the house hasn't been lived in since 1963, so we'd say I thought it was in a remarkable shape to even have 4 walls, right? But also, as those of you who have known our grandmother, Granny was a bit of a snob in her own way, and I actually reckoned that Dan knew this, right? Other cousins would remember this. I remember where Granny was concerned. One of the things, she'd often say, if she met somebody who she felt was of sort of lower social standing or whatever, she'd say, Neil, indeed, you wouldn't be in the better of meeting him or her. In other words, don't be wasting your time. But anyway, Dan, we'd say, knowing the kind of person that Granny was, asked, it was like it was a setup today, he actually asked Eileen, why didn't they go to school in Dreeny, which was only about a half a mile away? And Eileen replied, our mother, right? Our mother realised that there was a higher standard of education in Drumalee, and her family had a far better chance of getting scholarships out of Drumalee School than going to the local school Dreeny, right? But Eileen was able to point out where the bulls ring, and a lot of us can remember where the yard, where the little nozzles where the bulls used to be tied up on the left-hand side of the yard as you went down. She pointed out where the apples was grown, where the rhubarb was grown, and had her photograph taken in front of the house, etc., etc. Moving on, we're delighted. Eileen had 2 in family, Myra and Maureen. Maureen has passed away, but we're delighted that her husband Martin is with us. Obviously somebody that has X Factor. When you think of X Factor, you think of Judge, right? So there is the judge herself, Myra. Right, and we'll say now we could go seriously wrong after this because we have 4 generations of family. Then we'll say as well as Myra. Myra has her son Toby, right? Right? And Toby has 2 members of his family are here with us. 4. Stand up and introduce yourself. There's Ellie. Sebastian, and last but by no means least, right, to just add an international touch to the proceedings, Toby's wife, Claudia, all the way from Colombia. Now, there's no truth in the rumour that she flew in specially tonight. Also, we'll say members of the family were Sister Brendan. Sister Brendan, we'll say, is now in the nursing home in St. Mary's of the Isle, and her, we'll say, state of health can vary, but we'll say, I met her, was in with her last week, and you'd actually be stunned at, you know, how well she was last week. Now, obviously that could change in a couple of days or whatever, but we'll say, we also visited the grave today of Sister Celsus. Sister Celsus was buried at the end of September last. Also a member of the family was Annie. Annie died in 1935, and we'll say there's a few family members thinking that they have been left out. They haven't. The baby of the family was Finbar, and Finbar had 4 in family. Maureen.
Wait. Before we go to the US, teacher, can I just remind you?
Right.
Can we bounce back to England for a sec? And
Oh yeah, okay, fine. We actually forgot. Okay, there's always a danger when you're where the group is concerned, right? We have Carenza. Right? Okay. Right, this will be Eileen's granddaughter and her partner Tony and his son. David, and we're rest assured Tony isn't speaking to him last night at a late hour. This is about his 4th visit to Cork. He's an IT guru with a legal firm, but the only thing that we commiserate with him, he's a Leeds fan, and you don't know if you're a Leeds fan, you've suffered a lot of pain over the years, right? So moving on to the baby of the family was Finbar. Finbar worked in England, joined the Navy, then went to America, became an electrical contractor, subsequently a developer where building is concerned. He had 4 in family. Barry isn't able to be with us, but the 3 daughters are. And they are starting with Maureen. Maureen and her husband Kevin have been with us on several occasions, and obviously wanting to make a special particular entry is Annie and her son Alex. And the senior member of the Finbar family, each is honourable, is Margie. Right? Okay? And we'll say we also, the number of people that we are wondering now who we have forgotten, we'll say Niels is Margie's husband. When I heard that he was a photojournalist, the person I had in mind to do this particular job got the sack straight off, and we said we'd hand it to the professional. Right? And in case it might be reckoned that I was suffering from amnesia, there's probably one other member of that family that I should remember, and the other member of the family would be my father, Diarmuid, who passed away on the 19th of February, and Diarmuid had 3 members of family. John and Mary, who were unable to be with us, and yours truly, Dermot. As you know, 4 of the family of Elizabeth and Jerome had their eldest son Dermot. So we spoke with Dermot Munstown, Dermot Kilkenny, Dermot Carriganara, and Dermot Carrigavar. Right? Dermot Carrigavar. And if you think that wasn't crazy enough, our great-grandfather was Diarmuid, our grandfather was Jerome, which is the same name again, my own father, Jeremiah, thank you Eileen, my heavens, it's always good to have a good prompter. We won't call it a heckler, we call it a prompter. Right? When you're 95, you get to call the shots kind of thing, right? So we'll say, where family names are concerned, great-grandfather Diarmuid, grandfather Jeremiah, my own father then was Diarmuid, next son Dermot, what did we end up calling our son? Dermot, right? So we'll say, and Dermot is joined also tonight with my wife, Teresa, and last but by no means least, Dermot's girlfriend, Grace. So we would hope we will actually get the staff, because I know they're anxious to start where the menus are concerned, and we'll say we have one other member of the family that we have forgotten. That's Johnjo in Kilkenny. Johnjo had three in family: Dermot, Sean, and Betty. Now, Betty was to be here for the meal tonight, but it so happened that a very good friend of hers died in Dublin yesterday. She had to go up to the funeral and stay overnight. She still hopes to come later on, and maybe not for meal, but we'll say she'll come with her husband Ian and maybe travel away, because they still have a very young family. So when the meal is over, we'll say there'll be a slideshow, and we'll say maybe individual family members who want to add their own contributions. I know I want to thank the O'Driscolls in Ballincollig. I know they brought photographic albums. There are also a range of albums there for anyone who wants to see. So look at that. In fairness, continue with the chat, let the party begin, and we call in the hotel staff to take your orders. So you're all especially welcome, and take it away, guys.
Yeah, we're back on this. I don't think it's some insect day on Monday, so
For the few prompts there, like just I don't know, just a room like that. You know, high school was only for things when there was really convenient home. Yeah, but I mean, like, it was always really Hi, Peggy. Who's joining us here now is someone who's no stranger to you.
Barry, who came to Australia.
Ah, yes, I knew she'd get it.
But who, my sister, when she was 5, had great fun with Barry. I for years heard of her trip to Ireland where she broke her leg, and Barry and her had been playing and hanging out together and good times.
Imagine I was 5, but imagine that.
Imagine Barry being 5.
It wasn't that long. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Beth. Yeah, nice girl. Nice girl.
Would I have the fun?
Welcome to the steak. You're having the steak. Welcome to the steak. I think Mum was the melon anyway, yeah?
The rumor has it that poor old Johnson was
transplanted in there.
Came all the way from Australia, right? So we're delighted that Mary and Owen will say bought these little mementos for us. And just in case my Australian isn't too good, no,
English.
there are kookaburras, platypuses, and water horses. Okay? So our thanks to the Aussies for the little mementos. And just while we're getting, while the meal is the photos are being taken, the photograph that's there. Our thanks to Grace for the digital technology. Now the photograph was taken in 1979. It didn't necessarily mean that she was there to take the original. But we'll say one thing you can notice. Is that the superimposing that's very much part of photographs now and the digital upgrading and downgrading wasn't normal at that particular time. Poor old John Joe was probably font size 10 as opposed to font size 4. But some say that John Joe was in the GACKS when the photograph was being taken. But the real story, I'll call on Martin to give the real story where John Joe was when the photograph of all the rest of the siblings were. So, Martin.
He was helping me fix my tyre on a hire car.
Right, they got a hire car from Murphy Car Hire. It had 2 ball tyres and 1 flat tyre, and
So
they took
us off to go to the tyre clinic or whatever to get it fixed.
I doubt it was tire clinic in 1979, but anyway.
And I remember giving over a English £5 note. He told me off for doing that because it was worth more.
I'd say if he got an English fiver in 1979 for a tyre, he was certainly made.
That's what I paid with it, and I got the change.
Yeah, so unfortunately, when I got these photographs scanned from, we'd say, an old photograph, one guy, the guy who did it for me said, "Who's the guy with the big head?" But there's no problem. It was really the digital photography hadn't reached its zenith in 1979. Carry on with me, lads. Would you ask Myra to just turn around a minute?
Oh yeah.
Ask Myra to turn around. It's Myra there. This is Cousin Betty.
All my children and then there's Toby and Clown. And then there's Ellie with the blonde hair. Well, blonde, black.
And who is she?
She's my daughter.
Your daughter?
Yeah.
Wow.
Poor man.
Where's Dave?
I wouldn't have seen this.
They're all on the chat.
And they said, well, should we have lunch? I said, what was that the last 2 hours? But lunch, in many cases, all the way around. Oh my God, it's so lovely. Oh, so
pleasant delivery that arrived in reception about 2 hours back. A number of bottles of champagne, compliments of Mary and John. So we express our appreciation to them for saying, and we'll maybe use it as a toast to absent cousins, absent parents, absent relations, and to all of us here. So to all those people, maybe you might just stand and just raise your glasses to the toast. Absent cousins, absent parents, absent friends.
Right.
Okay. Now,
Cheers to the camera.
right. Okay. While we have, there are 3. Just go first, cousin.
It gets complicated.
Right. Martin, you tell us what to do and where to go.
Breathe in.
Peggy. Peggy and Ben. Peggy, photo. Many called. You were told. The old lady was up there, Rance. The wheelchair. Or is that the buggy? Seriously, if we could position it, this was taken by yours truly, the picture of one of your stage in the park.
To the editor, I am not a photojournalist, I'm just a writer. I write articles. I don't do video, I don't do photography except for fun. Sorry for the shoddy camera work. Bye-bye.